sacrum. And if we look at it, one side is smooth and one side looks like we're a reptile or something. Okay, this is your vertebra continuing down, but they got fused together. This is actually 5 vertebrae that have gotten fused together. So this would be your front of you or the back of you, you think? This is important. Front or back, you think? Where are your vertebrae? Your front or your back? The back. So this is back view. That's important because this is the posterior view. So where it looks like a reptile, this is going, do you not have one? I thought I had, every set had all bones, so I don't know where that would have gone. Okay. I was like, I was really careful on putting those sets out, but they might have gotten mixed up a little. So this is posterior view. This is anterior view. That's important, okay? So that's important. So we're going to start with the anterior view. I'm going to make sure that I cover everything I need to get. So the first thing we're going to look at anterior view is the pelvic surface. So if we turn it to the anterior view, you will notice that it's smooth versus this is really not so smooth. You want this to be smooth because you have all your intestines and stuff right here, right? Because you don't probably want all those bones rubbing up against your colon and causing all kinds of problems there. So this smooth surface is actually called the pelvic surface. And that's how I would say, what is this smooth area called? I won't use the word surface because I'd want you to know pelvic surface. So this smoothness on the anterior side is the pelvic surface. Simple, okay? And then you have, I'm gonna skip down for a second, you have transverse lines. Transverse means what? Straight across. So I'm looking for some straight across lines. Now, I have to tilt this particular model so you can see them, but there are these little lines. This model is a little bit better. Can you see those little lines where the thing is raised? We do have a model that's even better than that. Let's get this one over here. Can y'all see those lines? And I would actually say, I probably would use those, name those lines on that bone there. So these are called transverse lines. Makes sense. They're lines that go straight across. Okay. And then you've got some holes. So probably what are we looking at there? What's a hole? There are foramens. And what side are we on here? The anterior. So these are the anterior because we're on the front, sacral because we're on the sacrum, foramen. Anterior, sacral, foramens. Those are those holes. So if I flip it over, since we're here, we're on the back side now. Guess what they're called on the back side? These are the posterior sacral foramens. So when it's laying there, you have to be specific. So if I have it tagged and you're looking at the posterior, you would say posterior sacral foramen. If it's flipped that way, you would say anterior. Why does it matter? Because you've got different things that are going to be coming in them. Some come out the posterior, some come out the anterior. So it does matter, even though it technically looks like it's the same hole. Technically it is the same hole, but so those aren't hard. So then we have this, I'm still on the anterior side. If I turn it this way, can you see that looks like it's like almost like the body of a vertebra? And you do have a vertebra that sits on there. So it's like a shelf. So this little shelf thing, actually you have an intervertebral disc, you have cartilage that sits there between them. So, but it's, if you can look at the little here, you can see a little thing that's just kind of poking out. It almost looks like I could pick it up this way. So this is called the sacral promontory. It's projecting off of this. So this is the sacral promontory right there. So this little, it's the top part here that's flat, but it's this little part right here, because what's going to happen is that bone's going to sit right there. So it's like a shelf on the sacrum is what I would kind of call it. All right, we did all anterior side, so we're about to move over to the posterior side. And so then you have these vertebrae, these spinous processes that look like they've fused together. This is sitting in the middle of this bone. We have a word for middle, that is medial, right? Medial, this is known as the medial crest, the medial crest. Can you see that opening there? So there's that, so that off there that's in that backside. That is the sacral canal. Basically, your spinal cord is going to pretty much end right there. Sacral canal. And it's got an end point right there. That is the sacral hiatus. Sacral canal, sacral hiatus is the end part of it there. And the last one was the coccyx bone, which was the tailbone that would be as one piece. So let's label. All right, so if I ask for the name of the bone, of course, this one right here is the sacrum. And what's your little tailbone called? All right, it's the coccyx bone. Sacrum, coccyx. Posterior looks like it's still got vertebra on it. All right, so then we have this shelf-like there. That is the sacral promontory. There. So I'm just going to put a line to right there and say the smoothness, smooth surface. So the smooth surface is actually known as the pelvic surface. Then you have these lines that are going straight across. Those are the transverse line. Thank you. And then we have the holes. And we're just going to name one hole, so we're not going to say foramina. We're just going to say foramen. Because we're on the front, we do have to put the word anterior. This is the sacrum, so we say sacral, and then foramen. It would be foramina if we named all the holes. We're just going to name one of them. That makes sense? So on the back, this right here, that is, looks like I don't know, some kind of reptile creature, right there. It's in the middle of our back, so this is the medial. And it's called crest. You're going to see another crest in our other things. This is a hole as well. So this is on the back side. So this is the posterior sacral crest. We okay with that? And then I did mean foramen. I just need to go home. Actually, I'm just seeing if y'all paying attention. No, not really. I'm just making mistakes, but I'll use that as an excuse. I misspoke. That's not a crest. That's the crest. The holes are foramens. For some reason, I don't want to put foramen on anything. Thank you so much. Oh, you can do too. Not really, but all right. As we enter in here, this is going to be the sacral canal. You're going to see your spinal cord go that way, and then it's going to shoot off nerves and things. And this is the sacral hiatus. I'll make sure I spell it right. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. It's labeled. How are we?